Becky.
And I'm Marco. We're here to demonstrate for the Living Clay Company how easy and simple it is to mix Living Clay Detox powder for a clay bath. Now, since all clays are a little bit different, the instructions we're about to give you are specific to the Living Clay brand of calcium bentonite clay.
Basically, calcium bentonite clay is pure volcanic ash with all the impurities having been burnt out, leaving highly charged trace minerals behind. This highly charged substance is a very popular detoxifying agent when ridding the body of all those accumulated toxins, especially in a bath form.
The rising popularity of clay baths for detoxing, pulling toxins out of the body, relaxing your muscles and softening your skin have inspired a brand new way of preparing your clay bath other than just grabbing the clay powder and sprinkling it on top of your bath water.
So when preparing your materials, you're going to want to start with 2 cups of clay powder. Now we recommend this for a good detoxing bath. Now if you're just doing regular maintenance and your regular everyday regimen, you can use 1 cup and that's just fine as well. But for these purposes, we're going to be using 2. You want a 6-cup blender. We're also going to have an extra pitcher of water. And I have an extra 1-gallon container that actually I'm going to use to pour our clay in when we're finished if you're not ready to use it right away in a bath. Now if you are, go ahead and start filling your bathtub with very hot water and then get your clay started.
Okay, so to get started, what I've done here is I've already added 3 cups of water to our 6-cup blender here. So we're going to remove the lid and then we're going to go ahead and add our 2 cups of the clay powder here. Just want to go ahead and get it in slowly. Just make sure you get enough of it in there. I'm using this spatula just to help me out, but you can use whatever you have there at the house to help you, put it into your blender. Once we got all of the powder into our blender, I'm going to go ahead and use our extra water to fill the rest of the blender up. When you're pouring your water in, just make sure you leave about 1 inch of room from the top rim of our blender here. That'll just leave us enough room for the clay to move around once we start our blender. Okay, so we're going to add our lid here. And then we're going to blend it for about 25 to 30 seconds. The whole idea here is just to make sure we get a good liquid consistency without any clumps of clay floating around in our water here. So let's go ahead and get this started and we'll let it sit for about 25 to 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and just take a look at it, make sure we have a nice consistency here. It looks like most of our clumps have broken up. I'm going to add just a little bit more water just to make sure. Again, once we started the blending, the water line went down a little bit, so we'll make sure we're back to about that 1-inch line, and then we'll give it one last spin just to make sure we've got most of the clay lumps broken out. Alright, that looks like it should do it. If you have a little bit of clumps in your liquid here, it's not a big deal because you're about to add this to your water, with your bath water, which is going to dilute most of it anyway. You just want to make sure you don't have any huge clumps of clay left over in your liquid clay here.
Alright, so from here, if you're drawing your bath, go ahead, walk on over to your bath and dump it straight into the hot bath water. After you finish pouring it in, you're going to want to rinse out your blender, and you can use your bath water faucet to do so. You just don't want to leave the clay in contact with the metals of the blades for a prolonged amount of time. So, Marco, do you want to pour this in our 1-gallon container? Yeah. Because right now we're not going to.
Yeah, if you're not ready to take your bath right away, you can go ahead and just store it in a gallon container like we're doing such. So let's say we're going to have a bath here in a couple of hours. So we're going to go ahead and pour our consistency here into our gallon jug.
Now, although it seems very liquefied at this point, you're going to want to add a little bit more water to it when you're saving it for later, because this clay will swell and expand over a period of time. So I'm just going to tuck this away for later.
If you have already added it to your bath, the only thing you have left to do now is actually slip in for a nice relaxing soak, submerging as much of your body as possible underneath the water. While you're taking your bath, just make sure you move your hands around every now and then just to keep the clay in circulation as you soak. You want to soak for about 15 to 20 minutes.
When you're ready to get out, don't feel it necessary to rinse your body off. That that clay is actually very good for your skin, and it's going to leave you feeling really relaxed.
Here's another little tip I want to share with you. When you're done with your clay bath, there's no need to just rinse all the water out as soon as you get out. You can actually reuse the water to water your plants, or you can even use it to give your pets a bath. It's just as good for them as it is for you.
So when you are finished and you're out of your bath, go ahead, let that clay run down the drain. Wash down the walls of your bathtub so it doesn't stick to it. For those of you with a septic system who are concerned about whether or not it's going to harm your system, feel free to go to the website www.aboutclay.com, where we actually have a man who builds septic tanks give a testimony on how it won't harm your septic system.
So there you have it. That's how simple it is to prepare your clay powder for a clay bath. If you'd like any more information about calcium bentonite clay, again, we do recommend the website www.aboutclay.com, or you can check out our website at www.livingclayco.com. There you can see our complete line of clay-based products, lotions, creams, even handmade soap.
And while you're there, pick up Perrier's book, Living Clay, Nature's Own Miracle Cure. It's got all the answers you might be having to answer your questions about calcium bentonite clay.
So there you have it, guys. Again, it's that simple. I guess the only thing we have left to say is, go get some clay.